This is a 1986 Renault 5 GT Turbo, and if this isn't the pinnacle of FF driving dynamics, it's gotta be pretty close. But if you're from America like me, you might have no clue what this is because Renault hasn't sold cars here in like 40 years. Although, that may change in the near future. But either way, here's the basics. Renault, which is pronounced like this, is a French car company that has a legacy of F1, rally racing, hot hatches, and other interesting cars. Point being, if there's a racing series in Europe, Renault's had its fingers in it at one point or another. And you know how it is. If you win on Sunday, you'll sell on Monday. Essentially, this is just a tuned-up Renault 5, or Le Car, as it was called in the US. But you'd be forgiven for thinking this is just a French épave that would only seem sporty to someone who's only driven a pickup truck. But no, this isn't just an appearance package or something. This is a genuine hot hatch. And my god, does it drive like one. Especially since it's been extensively modified.
Stop! What do you mean by that?
In a nutshell, it's a short wheelbase car with good structural rigidity, and it weighs practically nothing. So no, this isn't the coked up mid-engine R5 turbo, but it's front-wheel drive at its best. The front of the car doesn't clumsily plow into a turn, it just rotates. In tight turns, it feels like the center of gravity is right in front of you, and the car is just pivoting around it. Like it's damn near perfect. Also, sorry for only recording B-roll. I got to drive this a handful of times, but it decided to rain on the one day I brought the GoPro. And, you know, it's not my car, so I'm not just gonna send it in the rain for a YouTube video, you know what I mean? Especially since it's making some power. This motor is Renault's turbocharged 1.4-liter C1J Cléon Font. Please stick with me, I don't speak French. Now, a bone stock C1J makes about 113 horsepower, which was enough to bring the car from 0 to 60 in a brisk enough 8.2 seconds. Not world-shattering, but to be fair, that's about where the Camaro was a few years before. But in true hot hatch fashion, this now has a big turbo, which apparently makes 185 to the wheels, and frankly, that's fucking nuts for a car that weighs 1,000 pounds less than a BRZ. That being said, it takes a lot of turbo to get that much power out of this tiny little tractor motor. So you got gobs of power and this tiny window of time to use it. Like, to be exact, the turbo isn't fully spooled until 4,000 RPM, and redline's at 6. In theory, this sounds bad, but when you drive it, rolling into the power band feels as if you're climbing to the top of a roller coaster. That feeling, but you're the one in control. I mean, unless you're not. One would think that modding a GT Turbo like this would be uncommon, especially now, but it really isn't. Renault sold 160,000 of these little guys, and apparently a lot of them ended up in the hands of tuners in the UK who have been doing some really crazy shit with this platform, which I didn't even know was possible.
Okay, it's got a little kick. Oh!
And you know, to put it in perspective, they sold like 25,000 Neon SRT4s and like 10,000 LNF Cobalts, like 160,000. That's a lot of fucking GT Turbos. And that means the prices aren't too bad, ranging from like a little over 10,000 to like 30 for like a mint perfect example. Meanwhile, the mid-engine car has been unobtainium since the beginning of time. So should you buy one? I'm not so sure. These are very finicky machines that take a lot of skill just to keep on the road. Between the 40-year-old brittle plastics and the frankly shitty electrical system, this poor little guy is on constant life support, like an elderly NEET after a lifetime of 4chan and DoorDash McDonald's. Not to mention the fact that they didn't sell these here, so you have to get everything imported, including your maintenance parts and consumables. I mean, what the hell is this tire size? 185/50 R14? Yeah, good luck finding that on Tire Rack. Like, don't get me wrong, a GT Turbo is a genuine driver's car.
Whoa, hey!
Also, it's just a great looking car. Like, if I may, the stock body kit looks the part. It adds a little bit of spice without looking corny. And the wheels in the front bumper aren't original, but they add to the car instead of just sticking out like a sore thumb. It's heavily modified, sure, but it's tasteful. Anyways, it's a great car, but it's not for the faint of heart. It's already hard enough to take care of a genuine import, but this isn't anything like a Skyline. If you actually get a GT Turbo shipped to the US, you're one of like 10 people who have done so. This car lives in the eternal shadow of its mid-engine platform mate, but a GT Turbo is more than what it isn't. I wish this was practical to buy on this side of the world, but I'll just have to stare from the cuck chair that is the American continent. Maybe we'll get weird shit like this if Renault actually decides to come back to the US market. Or, I don't know, we'll probably just get slightly up-badged Nissans. But, whatever. But what about you guys? What do you think? If you have any thoughts, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And for real, thank you for watching my video. I upload when I can, which isn't much considering it's once every few months on average, but if you want to subscribe, at least I won't clog your sub box. But either way, see you in the next video.